This company is trying to claim that a serum, a beauty serum, a face oil, has the same effect as 5 cosmetic surgery procedures. So I did a reverse image search on a couple of the product photos, and yeah, they've stolen it from Rock. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma. Welcome if you are new. Let's go scam busting! If you've been around for a while, you know that I have such a hard-on for consumer protection. It's a really weird way of putting it, but that's what I've gone for, so here we are. I'm really interested in consumer protection. I find that area of criminality really interesting. I don't know why. If I spot something that is manipulating people for money, and I can see something that is actually illegal, I will do what I'm calling going Liam Neeson.
I will look for you. I will find you.
I have a very particular set of skills. I was sent a link by a huge fan. It was my mum. My mum sent this to me. My mum sent me a link to a Facebook video advertising some incredible beauty serum, and she was basically like, can you believe this shit? Do you want to look into it? Because she knows how into this I get. Because this is one of those things where I was like, yeah, this is kind of absurd. And then the more I looked into it, the more incredibly dodgy and just straight up illegal so much of it was, that I wanted to share it, A, so that you can learn this and make other people aware, so that anybody who sees this at least will know that this is a scam, but also because I think this is a brilliant example of red flags to look out for in like dodgy online businesses, how to identify a scam. So we're going to make this like a fun educational thing, which is convenient because I look like a children's presenter right now. And we're going to use this hilariously dodgy beauty company as an example of what red flags to look out for, the things you can do if you think a website might be a scam, how you can find out more, and who you can report that to. Let's go! I'm gonna get fired up. Here we go. So you know what we're dealing with, I'm gonna start with the video that I was sent. So this has been seen on Facebook, I think it was upwards of 1 million times. There were plenty of laugh reacts, there were angry reacts. All of the top comments were people asking, can this be delivered to my country? Can I order this here, there, and everywhere? Let's just look at this amazing video. I assume the music used in it is copyrighted. There's no audio other than this stupid music, so you're not missing anything by not having the audio, don't worry. It all goes so fast that you almost don't know what's going on. So you get all these before and afters. Some of them are these, like, what? I mean, what? It's like some fairy tale shit, like, you know, the beautiful princess has been cursed, and then she uses the magic serum and turns back into a hot anime girl. It's completely absurd. I mean, look. Look, her face shape is entirely different. This woman's face shape completely changes. And we'll go into why when we look at the website. It will all become very clear. And then footage of this product, all these weird digital things. I assume, again, this will all become clear as we go, I assume these graphics are all stolen from other places. It's harder to find with video. It's a lot easier with photos to find stolen content. Video, it can be a lot trickier. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful shiny skin. She's putting it on. That's it. That's the end of that video. Okay, so most of us would look at that, would look at this 3D graphic and be like, well, obviously that's bullshit. And I see a lot of people say things like, how can people believe this? If somebody falls for that, they deserve it, etc., etc. And look, this kind of scam, and these kind of beauty scams are really common. The reason is because they really play on people's insecurities. If you're deeply insecure about something and you're presented with a magic cure, you're more likely to believe it than somebody who's confident, who doesn't think they need to change their entire facial structure and skin, etc. Particularly in the post-COVID world, a lot of people are using the internet for shopping that weren't previously. There are people now shopping online who before, if they wanted a beauty product, would have gone into a store and talked to an employee in person, face to face, and said, what do you recommend for this? And they would have been given, okay, it's the beauty industry, so probably exaggerated results still, but not insane. If you haven't come across scams like this before, it's reasonable to think that many would just assume this is genuine, because why would it be fake? You know, look at these impressive graphics. They've got the shots of the serum being poured, people putting it on their faces. They're using little bits of it that make it feel legit by, I postulate, stealing them from other places. That would be my guess. Basically, I have all of the sympathy in the world for people who have been fooled by this kind of scam, and I don't think that being cruel or bullying them about that is kind. And here's the thing as well, if you look at a scam like this and you think, oh well, somebody's been scammed out of $40, it's not the end of the world. Not only is that a lot of money for some people, but scams of this nature, and again, we're going to go into why I think this later on, scams of this nature are often not about this payment or paying you for a dodgy product. They often won't even provide a product. It's often about collecting your credit card information, right? Or your bank details. The outcome could actually be catastrophic. Could be a lot more catastrophic than like 40 quid or whatever to somebody who falls for this. Whatever you think about people who fall for whatever scams, the one thing that we can be united on is, you know, against the scammers. We can unite against the scammers. We can all agree that pretending that this is a thing, that magic serum can change your entire facial structure, and trying to make money out of that belief is shit. That is dodgy as fuck. So let's focus on that and work together to solve it. It seems very obvious to me as somebody who's been to university, because I have been taught how to critique sources, how to find good sources and identify bad ones. I think critical research skills should be taught in school. I think that would make a huge difference in terms of people falling for conspiracies and stuff. So many people just don't have that knowledge, and that's not their fault. So we're here to share it. Let's share the knowledge. And there might be things, even if you think this was really obviously a scam, there might be things that you didn't know you could do, stuff you didn't know you could look for. So let's just take a look. And also, this is such a amazingly in-your-face, dodgy, horrible scam that it is kind of funny. I mean, that video was absurd. First thing I do, obviously, is click the link in the Facebook post of this video. So they got, get to the store here, and the same link is what they're putting in replies to people. So we end up on this website. The URL is perlightness.com. I think it's meant to be pure lightness. It's spelled perlightness. If you scroll to the bottom, you can very quickly see that this is powered by Shopify. Which is fine. I use Shopify for my merch store. Plug. But the beauty of Shopify is that anyone, any small business or whatever, can just make a store and start selling stuff, okay? And they make it very easy. They have lots of templates. It's just, it's build and go, you know? You don't have to hire a web developer to sort out a website for you. So while I think, obviously, using Shopify doesn't make a business any less legit, it is worth knowing that this is accessible to anyone, especially if you're looking at something that is kind of dodgy. So down here, it says, experience the power of Resmooth, and you'll see that word a couple of times through here. I've Googled Resmooth, and what I find is hair removal sites, other products that don't seem related to this company. I can't find anything that connects Resmooth with this art serum that they're selling. So they make all these promises. It's for everyone, all ages, all genders, even though it's about making you go from an old lady to a young anime girl. They say the products are cruelty-free and that they're Leaping Bunny certified, which makes me even more nervous because obviously this main product is a lie. So I worry that that is too. Again, it would not be the first time that we've seen a company claim to be vegan, cruelty-free, and actually be deceptive. So here's an interesting thing, right? So this is actually, I've gone to this separately. This is actually the main website. I cannot get from this page to the art serum page that is being linked on Facebook. There's this featured collection with these 4 products. There's the stuff about scientific innovation. There's the promise. If I had to blindly guess, I'd say that this is probably all copy-pasted from elsewhere. And then there's, you know, the about us and contact us and stuff. I think it's just poor web design. They haven't put a way to access the actual store. You can search, they've got contact us, how do I use credit card, but there's no page of products, which is like a pretty rookie mistake on a website. So I feel like we should do like a Dora Explorer. Like what are the suspicious things you know on these websites, on these web pages? One of the main things that strikes me at first glance is that the URL is very different than the page title. And then, so you've got Per Lightness as the URL, Art Natural as the website name, You've got art trademark as the product name for this product. The other products have different names, and then all the about info talks about Resmooth. Having that many different names referring to the same company, the same products, is a huge red flag. And we've talked about this when we've looked at dodgy stuff before. Very, very often a dodgy or a scam company will change their name once they get a certain amount of notoriety. Because all of a sudden it doesn't come up on Google if you search for it, right? Is it Art Natural? Is it Resmooth? Is it Per Lightness? So okay, this is our webpage. There's a lot of emojis. That doesn't strictly mean that this is a scam. Some small businesses might just like emojis. It's a little bit suspicious. It's about out of stock. October 1st is the last day of the sale. We give a free bottle to the top 100 customers who place orders today. It's said that the whole time I've been looking at it. Today is October 1st. Hello lovely people, editing Emma here. I just wanted to point out that I went back a few days later. Now the website says the same thing, but it says today is the last day. Obviously the forced has been and gone. If you see something like this is called scarcity marketing. In this case it would be false scarcity. Anything that's like, we're nearly out, only 10 places left on this course, anything like that. Take a screenshot, whatever date it says, come back after the date that it's supposed to end, that the deal ends, that it runs out, whatever. Come back, it will probably say basically the same thing, and then you know that it's false scarcity, so that's a big red flag. Thank you very much. Garrett, continue. Now, this is apparently an American company, right? This is apparently a company based in the US. Somebody not being great at typing or not being great at English is not a necessary sign that it's a scam, but somebody who is making a legitimate business will usually take the time to go through, spell check, have somebody else check over the website. When it is written and formatted so poorly as it is on this website, that's another red flag, because it's just low effort is the thing. If you're scamming people, you want to get something for nothing. You don't want to pay very much money, you don't want to put too much time into your scam because you need to make more than you had, right? Then we have these incredible photos. Before we go deep, let's look at some stories of our happy customers. 72-year-old Suzanne Lewis submitted this photo of her 5-week journey. They are genuinely presenting this before and after as the result of a serum. Here's another one from Marlene. I've never used a serum so effective. You cannot achieve those results without Botox. That's at least Botox and a facelift. Like, there's probably more. You can't change the shape of your face. You can't get rid of excess skin. You might be able to, maybe over time, I don't know much about beauty products, you might be able to tell. Maybe over time, some serums can help smooth your skin. They can't get rid of your skin. Excess skin that exists, you can't get rid of. You can't get rid of the fat underneath your skin with a serum. You can't tighten your skin. That is surgery. That's cosmetic surgery. Okay, there's a lot going on here. The first thing I do on this kind of site is save all the images I can. Images of the products, images of the befores and afters, you know, stuff from the reviews. Incidentally, they have all the reviews as a separate thing down here. All these amazing, real, definitely real reviews. Have a look at this one. Michelle is going to be very important for us. 5.0, despite apparently having 1 4-star review. Absolutely boggles the mind. Okay, so save all the images you can. Next thing I do is have a little spin around the website. That's when I went back to the main page of Per Lightness and had a look and found some of the weirdness. I had a look at the Contact Us page. I have sent an email to this company, which I will get to later on. The FAQ is pretty standard. It doesn't state anything particularly interesting. The one thing that I would notice as interesting on the FAQ page, and this again is something to look out for, the product page was written incredibly poorly. It was very broken English. It wasn't formatted right. Words were stuck together without spaces. The FAQ page doesn't have any of those issues. That makes me think it might be copy-pasted, so that is another thing to look out for. The terms of service at the bottom of this page are very standard. These are probably Shopify default terms of service. They just refer to the company. They aren't written specifically for Art Natural or Per Lightness or whatever they're called, Resmooth. Probably the bulk of this page, if not the entirety of it, is copy-pasted from elsewhere. Now, the terms of purchase page was very helpful to me because near the beginning of the terms of purchase, you can see the company sites are operated by Pre-Silky. That is another company name. Yet another company name, and this seems to be the name that the company is actually registered under. So, we Google Pre-Silky. When we Google Pre-Silky, and this is why, again, it's important to note that companies like this usually change their name several times, or at least how they present their name. So this company is still called Pre-Silky, their just website is operating under a different name, and not very consistently. They haven't done a great job with this. When we Google Pre-Silky, the top things that come up are, is this a scam, scam detector, etc., etc. Very useful to know. At that point, if you're just looking for yourself, that is the point where you're like, yeah, okay. We haven't had to do that much work. We've just poked around a bit on the website and we found something that points very distinctly to this being a scam, which is just that other people have reported that this is likely a scam. That's super beneficial to us. Very useful thing to do. Scam Detector, incidentally, it's not the best website in the world, but it has a couple of useful features. It has a trust index, and you can look at why people have reported a website as not trustworthy, different reasons. So Scam Detector, incidentally, for this particular website, for presilky.com, Pre-Silky got a 14.6 out of 100 on the trust index, which is pretty freaking low. They've got a very low score on proximity to suspicious websites, phishing score, malware score, spam score, incredibly bad. The rest of the terms of service are basically the same as the FAQ page. Terms of use are extremely similar, but this is specifically about using websites online. But again, it says Pre-Silky. Although this section on links is very interesting. They basically say, we may provide links, but we're not responsible for what happens to you if you click on a link and it goes bad. Which is pretty sus. The next thing I usually do is start reverse image searching. And the first thing I found when I searched just for a couple of images on the website is that they have another website, which is almost exactly the same, but under another different name. Huge red flag. This company is purporting to operate under, this is called Reskin, but again the URL is Reskine. Reskin, Pure Lightness, Art Serum, Art Natural, Resmooth. They've got like 5 different names spread across their online presence. That is well dodgy. To make sure I wasn't going completely crazy, I did check the Contact Us page, and it is exactly the same as the other one. Their contact email is still service@perlightness. So what I've been using, you can use a service called TinEye as well. I've been using Google Image Reverse. The way you access that is that you just go to Google Images, you click on the little camera icon, and then you can upload a picture to there, and Google will search for it and search for similar things. Sometimes you have to put quite a bit of work into it. Sometimes you just might not find anything. The idea is that if you don't find anything, then it's a unique image. It's not taken from somewhere else on the web. Sometimes, and this is something that Reskin, Pure Natural Art, this company, the company, Scammy Face Company, whatever they are called, something they've done is they've put before and afters together as collages. That makes it harder to reverse image search them because they have been cropped and changed. Likewise, if you change an image, you change the colours, you Photoshop it, whatever, it all makes it harder and harder to reverse image search. So what I did was I picked a couple of images. This one most notably, you remember her from the, remember this nice lady from the reviews. So I cropped the before and after to just one of the images and searched for that alone. After a number of failed attempts with the before and after collages, this is the first time I actually got a bunch of hits that made it very clear. Before and after fat transfer procedures in Beverly Hills. Before and after blepharoplasty, maybe? Procedures in Beverly Hills. Go to the website and boom, we find not only this exact woman from the reviews for this serum, but a lot of very similar before and afters. And I had a look and they've got a bunch of different sections. This is a company in Beverly Hills that does cosmetic surgery, that does plastic surgery. This explains why this magical serum can change people's facial structures. It's because often, and if you click on patient details here, you can see that she has had a deep plane facelift, a lip lift, a blepharoplasty, a fat transfer, and CO2 laser. That's why there's such a striking impact. That's why there's such a difference between the before and after. This company is trying to claim that a serum, a beauty serum, a face oil, has the same effect as 5 cosmetic surgery procedures. It's absurd. At this point, I did a few things, and here's the fun reporting section. This section is always disappointing. The first thing I did was contact Shopify because I know that they host the site. There's not very much they can do. They do have this handy page where you can report sort of stolen stolen copyright, whatever. So I reported it for a couple of things. They basically said, unless you're the copyright owner, tough. I deeply regret, especially because I use Shopify, and this is something that I have said to them as like a future feature that is really important. There should be a way to report fake reviews on Shopify, because yes, I understand that I can't report copyright on behalf of somebody else, but as a customer, if I can identify that reviews are fake, I should be able to report that. There should be like a thing I can fill in where there's a contact detail so that I can share them the proof and they can reprimand the site. Because that's really important. Otherwise, stores like this can just get away with whatever they're doing scot-free. Shopify doesn't have a system in place to prevent that. I think that's pretty bad. The next thing I did was contact the Surgery Institute. I assume their contact lines are extremely busy. They didn't have like an HR or a PR even, contact. It was all just their general contact for consultations. So I don't know if I'll ever hear from them, but I basically showed them that their images were being stolen by this site, and I gave them the link to report that through Shopify. So if they choose to, then hopefully that would prompt Shopify into taking some action. This kind of scam, it's not the sort of thing that would affect this surgery company, so I can't imagine them caring that much if they're terribly busy. For me, it's about stopping consumers from witnessing these false images, right, and being misled by them. The next thing I did was actually contact the email address, the service app Perlightness, and the account on Facebook that shared the video and was linking everyone to it. We had a really fucking riveting conversation. I basically said, hi, I had this video sent to me, I had a look at the website, and I can see you're using stolen images. Feel free to contact me here or at my email address. And I emailed them as well. No reply there. The Facebook chat didn't happen, which I wasn't expecting it to, because scammers don't respond to be like, oh yeah, I'm a scammer, or I'm not a scammer. The safest thing in that situation is to say nothing, so it's expected. The next thing I did was, because as far as I could tell this was an American company, or at least the website was hosted in the US, was I submitted a report to the FTC. The equivalent in the UK that I've used to report dodgy British scams is trading standards. It's extremely unlikely to have an impact. It's one of those things where you just kind of send your, and this is the same with trading standards in the UK, you just kind of send your complaint into the void. So do report it. If you find a scam like this and you've uncovered something and you have actually found that it's definitely dodgy, you found something that is breaking the law, do report that to the appropriate authority. Don't expect a reply. Don't expect anything to change for a very long time, if ever, because they are inundated with these sort of things. These consumer protection services, especially when it comes to online, are so underfunded, understaffed, like it's a mess. But at the very least, you know that you've done what you can to make them aware that there is crime happening here that's going to hurt people. So it's worth doing. I think just don't expect to hear anything. You will likely only get a response if you have been personally affected. So if you have been scammed by a company, they've taken your money for something, and you fill that in with your information, you're much more likely to get a response because at that point you're the victim of a crime, and it's very different. But we're hoping to stop people from getting to that point. So this was more for my own personal interest, because at this point we know that they've stolen those images. By extension, we know their reviews are all fake, their website's dodgy, they're operating under all these different names. Even so, I was kind of interested in where they had got the product from. I was trying to wrap my head around whether or not this is a real product. I'm definitely not giving them my credit card information to find out. So I did a reverse image search on a couple of the product photos, because they've got very glossy high-end photos and videos of this product being used, etc. It looks like it cost a lot more money to design than somebody who runs the kind of business that this website looks like, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So I did a reverse image search on some of the product photos, and yeah, they've stolen it from Rock. You can see here the CVS website, that is a Rock product. They basically just very, very simply slapped this art logo. They've just composited their own art logo on top of the bottle where the Rock logo should be. Google image search. Try it, learn it, use it, make it a natural part of your sort of investigative process whenever you see anything a little bit dodge, or you're not sure if somebody's telling the truth, or if you're not sure, okay, I've done this too, if you don't think somebody's profile picture is really them, and it turns out, you know, that it's some sort of homophobic incel and they've stolen it from a gay model. That's always a fun one. I'm just saying, it's a very useful tool to get used to, reverse image searching. And then I have another image here. Again, you can see it's this exact rock image. They've just replaced a bunch of the text. They've gotten rid of revive and glow and put remove wrinkles. This is literally just a vitamin C face oil. This scam, and at this point we can be very, very comfortable in saying that it's a scam because it's not advertising even a real product. This product does not exist. This is a rock product with their name falsely slapped on top, and they're advertising it as something that can do the same thing that 5 cosmetic surgeries can do. Do you see why I thought this was a fun example? Because it's like so out there, it's so fucking brazen and bold with what they're trying to do. It is well dodgy. So that does make me more worried, because while it's possible that they could be repackaging another product, you know, and like sticking art on top or something and sending that out, I think that's very unlikely. That makes me suspicious that this might just be, like I mentioned earlier, purely about stealing people's credit card information. This might just be about getting people's bank details and not sending out a product at all, because the truth is that they don't have a product to sell here. At this point, we know for sure it's a scam. What can we do? Well, tell people. That's all that's left, right? We've submitted a fraud report to the FTC. We've reached out to the company. We've reached out to the company who we know have had their images stolen by this company because they have more legal standing to be able to do something about it than we do. The only people who can really make any kind of impact in this situation is people who have been actively scammed by this company and people who have had their copyright infringed. In this case, we didn't have to do this because we knew that we could see very easily as soon as we looked at the website that this store is hosted by Shopify. But if it was, you know, some kind of independent website, or we couldn't see a service or whatever that was hosting it, we could have looked up the domain name and tried to find where it was hosted, and that would help us identify what country was hosting the website, etc. We didn't have to do that today. It's a slightly more complicated thing. Again, the easiest things we can do are searching the website for red flags, reverse image searching. Those things are easy and super, super helpful. Do try and get used to doing them. It also feels really great to uncover a dodgy scam. So at this point, this is all we can do, and by this I mean talking about it on social media. I mean going to the dodgy Facebook post and leaving a comment saying, "This is fake, here's the proof," leaving a review or something. Obviously the reviews on the website are fake, but if they have a Google presence, you could leave a Google review or Facebook or whatever. Most of these scams will have the wherewithal not to have public reviews open. They will just have their own internal fake reviews, but if that does exist, then that's something you can do. If you share a post debunking whatever scam you find to the same social media platform as you found the scam, with the same keywords and tags and things, then it's possible that it will be suggested to people who look at the original post. It might come up when people search for it, and then you've got a slightly higher chance. Again, this is the internet, getting stuff noticed is hard, but you've got a slightly higher chance of somebody who has seen the original to see that it is a scam. And of course, the ideal thing would be for everyone to see that this is a scam before they ever encounter the original, so that when that comes up, they already know to avoid it. On that note then, if you have any other super useful ticks? Fuck me. On that note then, if you have any other useful tips or red flags to look out for identifying online scams, please drop them down below. It is super, super useful to share this information, to share what we can do, how we can help, how we can try and prevent this. Do share this video. The more people are able to identify scams, the fewer people will be hit by them. They are so rife right now. Online scams are so rife. Thank you so much for watching. Like I say, do leave your thoughts down below. It is super, super useful. Thank you to my mum for sending this to me in the first place and knowing that I would want to bust the hell out of this scam. Do give this video a like, do share it. Subscribe if you haven't already, that really, really helps. If you for some reason enjoy me wittering on, which if you've made it to this part, you must like a little bit, you can come hang out on my gaming channel where we do lots of cool stuff. You can follow me on Twitch where I am live 3 times a week, except for the last 2 weeks because I have been away. It's October, so it's Halloween spoopy season. I'm going to find all of the silliest Halloween games I can this month. We have such a great time and great chat. It's a really lovely community over there. Before we go, I must give a big shank you? Send help. A big shout out and a thank you to my giant chickens over on Patreon. People miss me saying "Goddammit Conla," and I miss it too. Help me figure out how to wind that back in, because I can't read all the names now, there's too many. How do I work "Goddammit Conla" back into the new system? Sorry Conla, but also, god damn you. Thank you so much again for watching. Do have a very lovely week, and I will see you really soon.